Love is beautiful. Love is a very beautiful experience. But can love pay the bills? Can affection pay the rent? Can romance feed your hungry children? One of the most controversial questions about relationships is that should broke people be getting married? Why? Some people believe that money should never be a factor to determine when two people get married or settle or commit to one another. While others argue that entering marriage without financial stability is a recipe for stress, for conflict, and even divorce. So who is right? Today we'll be diving deep into one of the most uncomfortable conversations about money, marriage, responsibility, and reality. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Unfiltered with Kati. If you enjoy thought-provoking conversations about relationships, human behavior, and personal growth, then make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification button. Now let's get to the bone of contention. You can imagine some married couple completely bank on other people for their source of livelihood. They go into marriage with the hope that is one rich auntie or rich uncle somewhere that will take care of their family's responsibilities. So they give birth like chickens. And when you ask them why they didn't do family planning, they will tell you that it's God that puts the children in their womb and that they will give birth to the number of children God placed in their womb. Can you imagine such poverty-stricken mentality? Having to, like, is the audacity to even think of bringing in other people into your mess to fix for you. The audacity to think that it's other people that will take care of your home front. Now, let's define what broke really means. Some people hear the word broke and just immediately think of poverty. But there are different levels of financial struggles. Some people may be earning little but have strong work ethics. Some may be unemployed but actively seeking opportunities. Some people may just be living from paycheck to paycheck. Some must have accrued so much debt. Some even have no savings or financial plans. While some, even despite earning so well, are just financially irresponsible. The thing is not about if you're financially buoyant or earning so well. It's about how responsible you are to manage the resources you currently have. Because trust me, someone earning a modest figure and can budget wisely is better prepared for marriage compared to someone earning six figures but is drowning in serious financial debts. Many successful marriages started with very little income. They built together after marriage. They didn't wait to become rich first. They worked smartly, struggled, and grew together. Look, marriage was never designed to be a luxury reserved for wealthy people. The idea is simple. Work together, build together, rather than wait forever. Because waiting for financial perfection can just become an excuse some people use to postpone marriage indefinitely. Eventually, that financial perfection will just never arrive. And with every new year comes financial goals you just might want to attain. Bigger houses, better cars, bigger salaries, more savings, and ultimately meaningful relationships will just disappear along the way. Dating and marriage are not the same thing. Dating and marriage are not the same thing. Do you know what financial pressure is? Because most couples feel that their love can conquer all. At that initial stage, that honeymoon phase, you would think that you both can break barriers, can conquer anything together, can defeat anything that stands on your way. But when financial pressure comes knocking, that's when you would know that money is very important because it will quickly extinguish that fire you have for the person. It will put out the spark in that bubbly relationship when you realize that there are bills to be paid or that your house rent is almost due. Then what about your children's school fees? Or is it medical emergencies that can happen at any minute? That child that was hale and hearty during the day, playing around, playing about, can suddenly develop temperature at night. So what are you going to do? When you rush your child to the hospital, are you going to beg the doctors and nurses to treat your child on credit? Or what do you want to do? You see, the thing about financial pressure is that it can cause two people that are deeply in love with each other to fight constantly, to argue constantly about money. And you see, financial hardship, it can expose weaknesses in communication and emotional maturity. Money, money doesn't create character flaws. It actually reveals. And what poverty does is that it magnifies the existing problem that wasn't visible from the initial stage. Marriage is not just about two people. So many couples go ahead to have children. And you know, children require food, health care, security, provision, education. So if you go ahead to get married without having to consider these financial responsibilities, then you've only succeeded in creating a recipe for disaster. So what actually causes marital problems? Is it due to lack of money or lack of financial wisdom? Why is it that some wealthy couples divorce and some poor couples remain married even for decades? Look, it's not about how financially buoyant you are or how wealthy you are. It's about how financially responsible you are because there are some people that are so financially irresponsible. They don't want to work. They have no financial plans. And even with the little that they have, they spend it recklessly and completely depend on other people for their source of livelihood. There are some conversations every couple should have before marriage. You need to discuss about finances. It is very important. You need to know and agree on certain things together, like spending habits, saving habits, financial goals, family planning, lifestyle expectations. Are you both willing to work together? And if it's decided on that it's only one partner that will work, you need to know if that person is financially capable, responsible, and disciplined enough to handle the family's responsibilities. Having to make one partner work in a union can be a bit dicey, especially if the person is not a money magnet. I used to know of a couple that started out so well. You know, the husband was the one working while the wife was the sit-at-home mom, taking care of the home front, taking care of the children, cooking and doing all of that. The man provided to the T. He took care of his family, handled the bills, but along the line, he lost his job. And along the line, it puts a serious strain in their relationship. Along the line, there were accusations of infidelity. Now, the rent won't pay itself. The wife decided to move out, move back to her parents' house, while the husband, decided to go squat with one of his friends while sorting out their marital differences. The bane of this crackdown is that money happened to that union. Money was the root cause. Because at the initial stage, it was very rosy. There should be evidence of progress in a union, not endless struggles. Marriage may need to wait if you or your partner have no viable source of income. If there are no financial plans whatsoever, if you constantly have to borrow or manipulate people into giving you money for your daily survival, if you can't handle basic responsibilities, if you've accrued so much debt that cannot be ignored, and if you expect marriage to magically solve your financial problems, then that marriage would need to wait. I've seen people ask questions like, can marriage make one successful? And from my standpoint, I would say yes and no. Yes, only if you both are committed to growth. Because a healthy marriage can provide stability, accountability, emotional support, motivation, and even shared goals. And no, because marriage is not a poverty alleviation scheme, especially if certain discussions bordering on finances were not, discussed. So marriage is not a shortcut to success. Being broke isn't the problem, but choosing to remain broke out of laziness, poor decisions, lack of ambition, or lack of vision, then that's the bane of the problem. Because if you lack vision, if you lack accountability, if you lack responsibility, then marriage shouldn't inspire you. Just abolish that thought. So the question isn't whether you are wealthy enough to get married. The real question is if you are responsible enough to build a life with someone else. So before you tie that knot, make sure that the person you intend getting married to isn't broke or have poor financial wisdom. And make sure that you are not broke as well. And if you haven't liked this video, what are you waiting for? Please like, share, subscribe, turn on the notification button so that you get notified when I drop more thought-provoking conversation such as this. Okay? So till I come your way, remain blessed.